What's up, guys? It's your girl Twisted Witch here, and today I'm going to be starting off with the story of Povelgia Island, also nicknamed the Little House of Horrors, Ghost Island, Island of Bodies, Island of Death. If there's anything that could describe this place, it's literally a death pit. To say the least. And I say that because in the 16th century, the first ships loaded with the plague victims arrived at the island, which is in Venice, Italy. Being an island as well, it was also vulnerable for epidemics. And that's leaving the sick and the dead victims in Venice, and then that would have the catastrophic effects. That's why the sick and the dead were transported to the abandoned Povelgia Island. You can see this is the map of the island. And the dead were just thrown into the deep pits, hence the nickname, death pits, were full. And they were set on fire or covered with dirt. People claim that Povelgia consists of 50% dirt and 50% human ashes. And the history of Povelgia goes all the way back from 421 AD. During the 9th century, it was mainly inhabited by refugees. And then they were under attack in the 1379, and then the residents fled to another island, and then after this the island was abandoned until 1527, and then that's when the plague hit. As you can see by the pictures, you can see the condition that this place was left in, and it's no wonder that there's so many spirits. So once the plague hit and everybody got put over into Povelgia Island, they were just pretty much dropped off and just left for dead. And they also say that if you are taken away from your home and your family and put on a boat full of dead and near dead people, you know your days are numbered. So could you imagine being put on a boat, carried off to the island? You knew that was it. And it is said today that you can still see bones of humans, not animals, humans, that was left here. And the hauntings are very, very extreme. If you've seen the show Ghost Adventures, you know Zach Bagans was possessed, but he gets possessed in every location. But truth be known, there are some disembodied screams, disembodied voices, footsteps. You can also see the apparition of the doctor that had jumped from the tower and committed suicide. It is so bad at this location that it is forbidden for people to go to Povelgia Island. And if you was to get permission, you experience a lot of stuff. And it's literally forbidden. I mean, even fishermen today avoid Povelgia because they're afraid that they will pull up bodies. And it says that when the skies are clear, you can allegedly see the skulls and bones under the water surface. Talk about creepy. And in 1922, new people came to live on the island. You know, around this time, the new residents were psychiatric patients. The director of the facility was your typical mad scientist who'd like to perform horrible experiments on his patients. And experiments, range from lobotomies, brain surgeries, and it just all went horribly, horribly wrong. To the point that the dude eventually lost his own mind and threw himself off the clock tower. So that goes back to one of the apparitions that you can see. He was literally a mad person that went even crazier and then yeeted himself off the clock tower. And people claim that the ghost of his victims is what drove him to the dead, which, talk about karma. And the decaying psychiatric hospital is still there to this day, but since 1968, nobody lives on this island. Well, except for, a few unhappy ghosts. It's known as Ghost Island. So it's not hard to imagine that this place is overcrowded with restless souls. Fishermen can claim to hear screams and moans from the island, and that they say that the bell in the tower can be heard sometimes, and the bell's not there. Also, there's many spirits from the time that it was used as a psychiatric hospital, to a point that there is this one called Pietro, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, was a man with 2 amputated legs used to raise his wheelchair through the hospital. So people claim that they can hear his phantom wheelchair racing up and down the corridors, which I think is kind of funny. So, I mean, aside from all the dark entities that's been said to be on this island, it's good that there's still ghosts like Pietro that are still just living it up. There's another one that is said that his name is Federico. He was always grinning and laughing out loud, so you can see him and hear his laugh. The other ghosts on the island have been known to be a little bit more violent, something like, which I've seen a pattern with a lot of these psychiatric hospitals and sanatoriums, that there's always something called like the creeper that can crawl up and down the walls and the ceilings, and it like lunges its way towards people, and then they get scratched and they get pushed, and in the end everybody leaves the island just shaken because of the horrible ghostly encounters that they've been through. I don't know what it is about these creepers and crawlers, or whatever these things are, but it seems to be a pattern with all of these psychiatric hospitals and sanatoriums, like Waverly Hills, Trans-Allegheny, Povelgia. They all have what people call the creepers, and it's just this shadow figure on 4 legs. Some people have said it looks like a dog. Some people says it looks like where there's just all things that it looks like. But all in all, Povelgia to this day is unforbidden for people to go to, but for the people that have went or have found a way to mysteriously end up on the island, have encountered a lot. So, what would you do if you had the chance to go to Povelgia? Could you stay the night? Or would you just look at it from afar? Let me know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And that is it for today. Until the next one. And blessed be, my fellow witches.